Hey everyone, and welcome back to another session of How to Build in No Man's Sky. Today I would like to take some time to introduce the newest members among us to the principles of electricity in No Man's Sky. Like in actual electricity, 5 factors are fundamental: the power source, the load, conduction, storage and logic. Now, before we take the deep dive, let us see what No Man's Sky offers us in electric building parts. At first we have the power source, and we begin with the biofuel reactor, which you will be receiving during one of the story missions. Then we have the solar panels, after that the electromagnetic generator, and also the base computer, which only will give you power in creative mode. Second one is the load, where we will have some lights, industrial devices, doors and gates and so on. Furthermore, we have the conduction, which includes wires and also conduction by proximity. Fourth one is storage, which clearly are the batteries, and at last the logic, which are the switches. Now that we have an idea of what to find in the Power and Industry build menu, we can dive a little bit deeper in the details. The biofuel reactor only generates power when carbon-based fuel is added to the furnace tank. It will produce 50 units of constant power for as long there is fuel in the tank. Depending on the amount and the quality of the carbon, you can have up to 1 hour of power. Once the fuel runs out, so does the power. The solar panel will generate power during the day and will be reduced to half efficiency during dusk and dawn. Similar to the biofuel reactor, the solar panel will produce 50 units of constant power, as well as 25 units during dusk and dawn. Once the day is over, so is your power. The electromagnetic generator, in short EMG, will generate perpetual power for you. There is no need for biofuel or daylight. The maximum an EMG can generate is 300 units of power per second. However, the EMG needs, as its name states, an electromagnetic field. EM fields can be found by the use of an analyze visor. There are 4 different classes of EM fields: C, B, A and S. Each of these classes have a different strength and radius, starting from C to S being the best. C-class EM fields, for example, have a small radius and can only give you about 50% of the max power an EMG can generate. The further you move away from the epicenter of that EM field, the lower the percentage of the generated power will be. The best power hotspot you can find is an S-class hotspot, which will give you 100% generated power at the largest radius. If you're playing in creative mode, you can also enable the option for auto power, which will remove the need for generators. This option can be found at the base computer. It will power up some parts of your build, but not all. Prefab rooms, teleport modules and pillars, for example, will all power up, but light boxes and floor lights will not. And with that we come to the next section, which is the load. In the menu you can find various lights in shapes and colors, doors and gates, teleporters, industrial devices, storage containers and so on. Each one of these have their own power consumption, as you can see in the build info window. Pillars, for example, will be using 1 unit of power per second, while mineral extractors use up 50 units per second. If we look at the solar panel, you can see that it will produce 50 units of power per second. That means this either can power up 50 pillars or 1 mineral extractor. But to power up your devices, of course, you need to connect your power source to the device, and that's where the wire comes in. When we look a bit closer to our power source, you can see there are connectors on the sides, and the same goes for our devices. This light box, for example, has 1 connector at the back. There are 2 ways to connect a wire between them, either by finding it in the menu. There are a few locations where it can be found, or by using the shortcut menu, which can be opened by, on the PS4 at least, pulling the L2 trigger. If you're playing on another console or PC, then compare your menu with mine and see what button you need to press. Apart from the wire, there is also power by proximity. As you can see, if I power up this pillite, other pillites will also be powered up as long as they are close to a powered pillite. Same goes for prefab rooms and other items. If you are using solar panels or biofuel reactors, it is smart to connect batteries to these. As explained before, both these power devices only generate power for a limited time, which is 50 units of power per second, no matter the load. So if you only have one pillite connected to a solar panel, 49 units will be unused and lost. So we want to store that additional power. Each battery can store up to 45,000 units of power, and while that looks like a nice reserve, these batteries run out rather quickly if there's a lot of devices connected to it. A fully loaded battery with a device connected to it that uses 50 U per second will drain your battery in about 11 minutes. When you are planning on storing power to use during the night, you must take in mind you need to generate twice as much power to be running your base as well storing the reserve power for when the power runs out. A solar panel takes about 30 minutes to charge up a battery. At this point, the day and night cycles on each planet are 50 minutes of day and 15 minutes of night. So that means to charge your battery fully during the day, you will need 2 solar panels. Okay, let's do a quick calculation. Let's say that you have a base that uses an average of 400 units per second. A fully charged battery runs out of power after 11 minutes when the load is 50 U per second. That means that 3 batteries run out of power in 33 minutes, or 60 minutes when the power consumption is 100 units per second. This means to have enough power to last you the night, you will need 12 batteries. Each of these batteries will need 2 solar panels just to charge them up. But we also need to have our base powered up during the day. That means 50 U per solar panel is 8 solar panels. In total, you will need 12 batteries plus 24 solar panels to charge them, and 8 solar panels to run your base during the day. The calculation is not exact. As I explained, you have some power during dusk and dawn, but it will make sure you won't run out of power during the night. So now you might understand that an EMG might be the best option for you. You do not need batteries, as power is generated during day and night, and it will reduce for sure the building materials needed. Then again, EM fields tie you down to location. So if you have found that perfect view and decide to build the base and there is no EM field, then solar panels and batteries will be the way to go. The last category left, which is logic, I will not be covering in this tutorial, but I will be linking the video concerning logic on top of the screen. As usual, I hope this was useful to you, and I believe it will help you out in your efforts of building a functional and beautiful base. If you have any more questions, you can check the playlist that will show up at the end of the screen to find more information about base building. I also would like to invite you over to the PBF Discord, which you can find as a link in the description below. As always, if you like this video, I would appreciate the thumbs up and subscribe if you have not already. I'm also streaming frequently, and you can find my schedule in the About section. Thank you all for watching and see you next time.